Are you having fun? Because this is boring for me. You've been asked to leave. I don't know why you're still harassing me.
So you are legally obligated to identify yourself?
Really?
Post your video, Scott. I don't mind.
I'm sending it to LackLuster and...
Welcome back to the LackLuster channel. Just after New Year's of 2023, a viewer named Scott engaged in a heated verbal dispute with his sister over a phone call. Uniformed officers of the Prescott Police Department arrived at Scott's residence, alleging that they were responding to a 911 call. They immediately confirmed with Scott and his mother that no threats, domestic incidents, or other crimes had been committed. But now, completely taken off guard, the video starts a moment after their arrival, as Scott is now refusing to allow the officers access to the home or provide them with his identification.
I've already told you you're not welcome in the property, and I'm not cooperating with you, and I'd like for you to leave.
And Scott, you don't have to answer any questions if you don't want to.
Yes, I was in an argument with my sister on the phone. I've already told you that. It's already been proven. My mom's corroborated it. You've been asked to leave. I don't know why you're still harassing me.
I'm not harassing you. We have the duty to...
Are you having fun? Because this is boring for me.
You're repeating for your camera, and I'm trying to repeat it as well.
Yes, go ahead.
Scott, at this point, you're... Like Officer Harris said, you don't have to answer any questions.
Yes.
But you are legally obligated to identify yourself.
Really? Yes. On my private property?
Yes.
In my home?
Yes.
No, I'm not going to.
You have to provide your full and truthful.
No. Can you state your badge number and names, please?
Scott.
Your name's Scott?
No, he's talking
to you.
I know, Mom.
Officer Harris. 426.
You see, Mom, this is what I told you about. You made a huge mistake even cooperating with them.
Scott, like I said,
because we were arguing on the phone.
Any questions about what happened?
I'm talking to my mom.
Identify yourself.
I know. Who I am?
I didn't make any.
You know who I am. You just stated who I was.
Scott, I don't know who you are.
Of course you do. I'm her son.
I don't know who you are. I've never.
Mama, who am I?
Scott Gusky.
There you go. I'm her son. Now what?
Okay.
Why is your foot there?
Can I have your date of birth?
No, go away.
In order for the officers to enter Scott's home, they would need an arrest or search warrant, consent, or exigent circumstances, but the officers have none of the above, and due to the constitutional limitations to the officers' authority, Scott is wise to stay within his home. While seemingly harmless, the act of placing a foot inside the doorframe is a violation of Scott's Fourth Amendment rights, and many circuit courts have ruled in favor of shutting doors on officers making an unlawful entry. For example, and as recently as 2018, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which covers Arizona, stripped officers of their qualified immunity after they forced their way into a home after one resident gave permission to enter and the other resident explicitly told them to stay out. But at this point, the officers refused to leave or shut the door without Scott's ID.
Scott, I'm not going to go away until you identify who you are, so I know who
Is he stupid? I just told him who I was.
You know what? My husband just died, okay, you guys? Come on.
They don't care about stuff like that, Mom. They're cops.
On edge, and I got a heart issue, and I don't even...
With that, I don't want you to be out here for too long.
We can do this all day, guys. You can go ahead and arrest me. It'd be an unlawful arrest. I'll sue, and so on and so forth. Is that the cunt that called? Because that's crazy, man. You never got in an argument on the phone with anybody?
Infinitely less significant. Hold on, let me just do.
Still got your foot there, dude.
Just let me explain. I do. Again, we have been called to...
I've been seeing hundreds of videos with cops violating civilians' rights. It's just, it's unheard of.
If you understood your rights, it would be a little bit...
Oh, I understand my rights.
Process.
Yeah, I've already identified myself to you. And I don't even have to identify myself to you.
Truthful name?
Yeah, I don't even have to identify myself to you. No, I don't. You don't know the law.
You obviously don't know the law then.
You obviously don't. And you took an oath to uphold the Constitution too. This is private property. This is private property. And we didn't even have to answer the door. Okay? So you can just say whatever you want all day. All right?
So when we respond to a domestic disturbance,
yeah, you know what the domestic
party involved is required by law to provide their truthful name. Okay.
Yeah, you already have that information.
I don't.
Then you're
Scott,
deaf.
And I didn't catch the last name. So if you'd like to give me your last name and date of birth, that's all I'm asking for at this point. But at this point, you're refusing to.
Yeah, I don't answer questions. Sounds like she's answering questions.
Yeah, she's being a little bit more cooperative.
Well, because, no offense, dude, but I mean, you already knew it was an argument on the phone, so you should have just left. Okay.
I didn't know that.
We told you right when you were at the
When
door.
it happened, Scott? No, I got called for a domestic.
Mom, stop. Just stop. You need to go ahead and do the whole Fifth Amendment and stop talking, Mom. I don't understand what your problem is. You're acting like this little sheep. It's weird.
I am a sheep.
Mom, just stop talking. Tell them to leave, and that's it.
An officer can only demand identification when issuing a citation for a civil infraction or when there is reasonable suspicion of a specific crime. In this situation, the officer's investigation initially centered around hearsay, the allegation of domestic battery over a 911 call. However, once Scott and his mother confirmed that no such crime had occurred and that the phone call was a false report, any reasonable officer would have dismissed all suspicions. Unfortunately, these two individuals continued to insist on obtaining Scott's information and extracting further details from his unsuspecting mother, who unwittingly provides the information that Scott refuses to disclose.
You're upsetting my mom. I hope she doesn't have to go to the hospital because of what you guys are doing.
Well, you're the one that made this a much bigger issue than it needed to be, Scott.
As soon as we told you it was an argument on the phone, you should have left.
No, we have a duty to investigate to make sure there's not anything further underlying that we can't.
Well, now you know. Why are you still here? It's kind of cold, man. You gonna leave your foot there? I'd like to close the door.
No, my son is at work.
It's like 20 degrees outside. It's not very protect and serve of you.
That's okay.
I've been trying to talk to my mom about not cooperating with fascists, but she doesn't listen. I don't know. It's weird.
They don't get along, and she just made a comment.
It's like 2,000 police brutality and rights violations videos I've been watching just in Arizona
Learn a
alone.
lot on those YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Anything I needed, it was just 75% off. And he took
I don't know why you guys do it. Why become a cop if you're going to abuse innocence? I'm completely against that.
We're not abusing anyone, Scott.
So you're abusing my rights right now.
Investigate.
No, you lied and said I have to provide my ID to you, which is a lie.
You do.
You blocked the door from being closed by putting your foot in the door.
After we leave here, look that law up. I promise you it's a real law.
I don't care what you say.
I'm not violating any rights.
You are right now. I want to close the door and your foot's in the door and you already know that it was just an argument on the phone and you know my
As soon
identity.
as Officer Harris is done speaking with your mom, we'll get out of your hair. Okay?
Fantastic.
But we're not abusing anyone. We're not violating any rights.
Well, we'll let the
I do this
video,
for a living every day. So
we'll let the viewers decide.
Okay, well, go ahead. They're not going to find anything wrong with it. We responded here for a domestic disturbance.
Yeah, and I'm cold. I'd like to close the door.
Required to investigate. And when we investigate that and determine either A, a crime was committed, or B, a crime wasn't committed, but that's our job. That's what we do for a living, is investigate those. And as soon as we determine a crime hasn't been committed, then we get out of your hair, and no harm, no foul.
Seriously, no, like not trying to start Do you guys ever end up arresting people who make false calls? Like, I see so many cops violating rights over false calls where neighbors say, oh my God, this guy's being violent, this guy, and then they get there and there was no crime at all, and the person who called was lying.
Place your answers in the comments now. Will the officer A. answer the question correctly, B. answer incorrectly, or C. sidestep the question and make up an unrelated hypothetical in an attempt to justify his unconstitutional behavior?
Okay, so Scott, I'm gonna take that question you just asked me. What if we responded to a call and somebody answers at the door and says, oh, nothing, everything's fine, nothing's going on here. But in reality, there was a domestic situation where there was an assault or a kidnapping or somebody was being held captive, and we just took your word for it and left.
I'm not talking about me.
I'm just saying, what if we went to a call and somebody said everything was okay, but it really wasn't? And then we just left. Wouldn't we?
No,
Are we kind of on the hook for that?
If you answered C, congratulations, you've won. And just for you, subscribing to the channel is now free with notifications turned on. And to answer the officer's question, whether they are on the hook for this made-up scenario to not answer Scott's question, no. Supreme Court rulings such as Warren v. DC and Castle Rock v. Gonzalez have made it very clear to US citizens that police officers have no specific obligation to protect, and when they fail, victims shall have no recourse.
Believe it or not, I hate bad cops. I don't hate good cops. Back the blue until it happens to you. You know.
Scott, I promise you, we're not bad cops.
Well, you're acting like bad cops.
I'm not. I'm just,
Because we both corroborated the story that we were
Okay.
arguing on the
Scott,
phone,
Scott.
and then you put your foot in the door,
Scott.
and then you wouldn't leave after you knew that it was just an argument on the phone.
Okay, but removing someone from the house to where they can give an independent statement, doesn't that make a little bit more sense?
I'm bored,
I
man.
don't know if you had a gun.
Oh my God.
Telling her, hey, tell.
I hate to tell you this, but it's
Okay.
completely lawful to own firearms
It is.
in your home.
It is 100%. I didn't say it wasn't.
Still America.
I agree with you. I think more people should carry firearms.
Yeah.
But it's our job to make sure everything's okay. All right? We're not bad people. We're not bad cops. We're not violating anyone. So as soon as Officer Harris...
Yeah, email. I'd like to send you about 2,000 videos.
Nope, I don't want any of your videos, man. I appreciate it, though.
No, not my videos. The public being completely f***ing by fascists.
And I get it, man. There's bad cops out there.
Yeah.
I take no offense to your stance.
You don't put foots in people's doors, man.
When you try to close the door, yeah.
Tries to close the door on where I live on people when you have no right to put your foot there and block the door from being closed.
Well, post your video, Scott. I don't mind.
I'm sending it to LackLuster and send it to other places, Direct D and all them.
Hello. I mean,
That's what I do.
But here, no, if you're more than welcome to go inside, we're all good to go.
Oh.
Good, Harris? Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Scott, you have a good day, man.
Hey, man, you too.
There wasn't anything.
You give them all the information you could, Mom?
Yes.
That's great.
You guys take care.
Hey, you guys too.
Okay, I will spend my days in prison. No, I'm just kidding. I will spend my days.
Prison over argument on the phone, yeah.
Hey, you guys, I appreciate
That's it, they're leaving.
Stay safe. I hope the next thing you have is this easy. I mean,
The officers should absolutely gather independent statements from separated parties. But after they did, and found that there was no crime, that should have been the end of it. Instead, they gathered Scott's information from his mother, and in April, just a few months after the video, Scott received a notification that the state is pursuing charges against him for failing to provide ID during a domestic violence investigation. I'm still working with Scott to obtain the reports and the alleged 911 call to see what prompted this type of response, and will follow up as this case continues. But for now, let me know what you think in the comments, and head over to Scott's channel for the latest updates. Thanks for watching. If you have a video, use the submit link in the description or pinned comment. If you enjoyed this one, subscribe and hit the bell for future content, and check out our other channels, Lady Lackluster and The Odd Side. Remember to like, share, and leave a comment about what you think of this interaction. It's the easiest way for you to help expose corruption and misconduct. Merchandise is available using the links below. Join the LackLuster family for just $1 if you'd like to further support the channel. Get a Lack logo next to your name, custom emotes, and early access to videos. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. All links are down below.